they flew, the patties you can chew.
The Phantom texter uses 2 all-beef patties as a satirical narrative to lament the perceived decline in fast food burger quality. He even put me in this uniform to help frame it as a war between burger chains. The Phantom reminisces about a time when ingredients and preparation were seemingly better. The text suggests that competition led to a decrease in quality as restaurants prioritize speed and cost-cutting measures. This fictional conflict results in larger, structurally unsound burgers made with questionable ingredients and chemically altered shakes. The Phantom concludes with a somber reflection on the societal impact of this burger war, where value is reduced to $1 and happiness is diminished.
Oh Lord, am I to do? Pickles they flew, the patties you can chew.
Okay, so
Extra
you know when you're like
cheese,
starving
Uh-huh.
and you just need to grab something quick
Yeah.
and you unwrap that fast food burger
Right.
and it's just
Oh, yeah.
not,
It's a little sad.
yeah, underwhelming.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day.
Yeah.
I had a Big Mac
Okay.
and it was just a mess.
Oh, no.
Lettuce everywhere.
Yeah.
The sauce looked like it just like lost a fight or something.
Yeah.
And the patties just looked,
They get tired.
yeah, so tired.
Yeah, they do.
Really exhausted.
Yeah.
And it kind of made me wonder, like,
Yeah.
how did we get here?
I know.
How did this become the standard?
Right.
You know?
It's so easy to just see, like,
Yeah,
all the fast food places everywhere.
everywhere.
All the deals, like
Okay.
crazy new menu items.
Right.
And just think this is just how it is.
Yeah.
Like, this is the natural state of burger.
The natural order of things.
Yes, exactly.
It's always been this way.
Right. What if I told you,
Yeah.
what if this is actually like
Yeah.
the result of some kind of
Yeah.
long, intense battle?
That all food.
A real food fight.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
Yeah.
When I think about like
Yeah.
the evolution of the fast food burger,
Right.
I don't picture like armies
Mm-hmm.
and,
Oh, no.
people fighting over patties.
No.
But you're saying that there was
A
this,
real turning point.
like a real period
Yeah.
of just like
Upheaval.
competition.
Yeah.
And that led to this.
Exactly.
Okay, I'm interested.
So we have this really interesting account
Okay.
from a source who calls himself James Ray, the Phantom Texter.
Okay.
And he wrote a couple of pieces, both called Two All Beef Patties.
Still all beef patty.
And he doesn't just talk about
Yeah.
like these gradual changes over time.
Right.
He really emphasizes this idea that there was this war
Okay.
that really changed everything.
If this was a war,
Yeah.
like what were the first shots fired?
So he describes it as this period of just
Oh.
utter chaos,
Wow.
just years where the battle raged,
Battle rage.
prices were dropping,
Oh.
pickles flying everywhere.
Pickles flying.
Oh, yeah. He says sesame seed buns everywhere, the horror. So you can just imagine.
I mean, this is intense.
Yeah.
Like everyone just scrambling.
Every customer counts
Yeah.
to survive.
And I was looking at the account, and one of the things that really stood out to me was this line about the burger bastions whip them out faster and faster.
Oh, yeah.
It really emphasizes like the speed.
A volume.
It wasn't even about just having a good burger.
It didn't matter.
It was just getting them out there
As many as possible.
Yeah.
Like a land grab
with burgers.
with burgers.
And, I imagine in that kind of environment,
Oh, yeah.
not everyone makes it out.
Not everyone.
The account talks about like
Yeah.
Billy at the burger stop down the street just couldn't keep up.
Couldn't compete.
Yeah. And it makes you think like
Yeah.
about all the
The casualties.
casualties of this war.
Yeah.
It wasn't just about the businesses though, was it?
No.
The account also talks about like
Yeah.
John the spatula master.
Yeah.
This guy who was clearly like a pro,
Amazing.
flipping faster than the eye could follow, grilling onions at a pace that could make you cry.
He was an artist.
But even he was subjected to
The pressure.
Yeah.
The manager is always there yelling faster, faster.
faster.
Yeah, like no matter how good you are.
It's never enough.
Never enough.
And it makes me wonder, like,
Yeah.
did that kind of pressure to go faster
Right.
Did that lead to maybe like,
Cutting corners?
yeah, cutting corners?
Maybe.
And did that affect the quality of the food?
I don't know.
Yeah, and then, we get to this point in the account where he starts talking about
Oh, yeah.
like the chemical warfare of milkshakes.
That's when things get really dark.
This is where it kind of takes a turn,
Yeah.
because this isn't just about like lowering prices or going faster.
It's about changing the food itself.
Yeah, he talks about like this
Yeah.
chemical reproduction
Right.
of what the competitors are calling a milkshake.
Right, like 50% more sugar, 50% chemical taste, let all that natural stuff go to waste.
Wow.
Doesn't sound too appetizing.
No, not really.
But it was cheap.
Yeah, and it makes you think like,
Yeah.
were they sacrificing the quality
Right.
to just win the war?
Yeah, maybe.
And it's so interesting to me that like,
Yeah.
while this whole burger and milkshake battle was going on,
Right.
there were some players who just seemed to like,
Sit it out.
yeah, like Jack just clowning around.
Oh, yeah, Jack in the Box.
Yeah, in the castle.
Yeah.
Feeling so secure.
Right, like they didn't need to get involved.
Yeah.
They had their own thing going on.
Like their shakes were unsinkable.
Exactly. They were
Yeah.
confident.
So you've got some people on the sidelines,
Yeah.
and then you've got like
To main event.
the King and the Donald.
Oh, yeah, McDonald's and Burger King.
Just head to head.
Throwing fries over the ramparts. It's a real battle.
I love that imagery.
And then you've got like Hardee's,
Right.
who is just like, I'm out.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm going to let Carl's Jr. take over.
Take my place.
And then there's like
The Colonel and Shirk.
KFC and Church's Chicken
Just
staying far away
far, far away.
from the fry.
They know their lane.
They know what they're good at.
Chicken.
Exactly.
That's it.
But as this war went on,
Yeah.
you get the sense that like
Yeah.
the quality of the burger
Oh, yeah.
really suffered.
It's not their priority.
There's this line in the account where the captain's like
Oh, yeah.
faced with this unstable burger,
Right.
like it's literally falling apart.
Right.
And he's like, let it fall apart.
Just get it out there.
Get it out there.
Yeah.
And then he talks about how they were using like
Oh, yeah.
any meat you can find, turkey, bacon, pastrami, hell if it'll work.
Yeah.
Put bologna on it.
Desperate times.
Desperate time.
Desperate measures.
Yeah, and then there's this part that's almost like,
Oh,
it's funny, but it's also kind of sad.
it is.
Where he's like pleading for ketchup.
Yeah. Ketchup. Ketchup my kingdom for some ketchup.
Right, and all they have is
Mayo most foul.
mayo most foul. And you just get this sense that like,
Yeah.
even the basic
The
things,
fundamentals
the fundamentals of a burger
were gone.
were gone.
Yeah.
And then, this line, give them turkey, call it healthy.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
That's when I really started to think about
Mm,
like the marketing side of things.
right.
Like, were they using the war,
As an excuse.
yeah, as an excuse to cut costs
Maybe.
and then pretend it was something else?
Right. And even the Happy Meals,
Yeah, even the Happy Meal.
which, for so many people are like,
Childhood memories.
yeah, pure joy and happiness.
Right.
He says they no longer brought happiness as they did when I was younger.
So sad.
I know. And it makes you think like
Yeah.
this war just like,
It affected everything. Everything.
it really did.
He says there was nowhere, no one, and no place safe from the war.
Yeah.
And then you get to this point where he's talking about the Whopper
Yeah.
becoming like a permanent dollar item.
Right.
And that to me felt like,
Symbolic.
yeah, like a turning point in the war.
Like a surrender.
Yeah, where it was just all about price.
Yeah.
And maybe at that point, the value of
Yes.
the product
The eyes of the customer.
just went down.
Yeah.
Like we were only worth $1.
He says, as it turns out, our lives were only worth the $1, the entry cost.
That's heavy.
It is.
And then like the whole account ends with this
Yeah.
kind of mysterious,
But ominous?
yeah, ominous note.
Yeah.
Like it was found on this lonely hard drive in the back of a closet,
Yeah.
and the correspondent is just gone,
Missing.
missing, suspected to have succumbed to the conflict.
It's like he was taken by the burger wars.
Like, what happened to this guy?
Right.
And then, like, his final thought, the sadness of society has come down to number of patties put on a bun.
Kind of a cynical.
Yeah, I don't know, I felt that.
Yeah.
And then he leaves us with this question.
Oh, yeah.
Ask yourself how long before you're covered in secret sauce.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
And then that weird sign off.
Yeah.
Happy April Fool's Day.
Yeah.
See how long you live through it. Oh, Lord, what am I to do?
It's unsettling.
Yeah.
But I think, like,
Yeah.
going back to, like, that Big Mac that I had,
Right.
that was so sad.
Yeah.
it makes me think about it differently now.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't just a bad burger.
Yeah.
It was like,
He's a casualty?
yeah, a casualty of this whole war
Yeah.
that I didn't even know was happening.
And think about it next time
Yeah.
you open up a fast food wrapper
Yeah.
and you see a burger that looks like it's been through a battle itself.
Yeah.
Think about the pickles flying.
The pickles.
The chemical milkshakes.
Oh, yeah. The milkshakes.
Think about all the pressures that led to that burger.
Right.
That made it look that way.
And it just makes you wonder.
It does.
What other wars are going on? Like,
Yeah.
behind the scenes.
What other battle?
Yeah, like, what other things that I'm buying and using
Yeah.
are the result of some kind of...
secret war
Yeah.
that I don't even know about.
Yeah.
Exactly. And you know what? Once you start thinking about it that way,
Yeah.
you start to see the world,
Differently.
yeah, in a whole new light.
Yeah.
You realize that
Yeah.
there are these forces at play
Yeah.
that are shaping everything. And once you see them,
Yeah.
you can't unsee them.
That's true.
It's a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
Oh Lord, what am I to do?
While standing in a McDonald's for early lunch, I stared at the open box of what should have been a Big Mac. It might have started off as a Big Mac, but with the lettuce all over the place, the special sauce looking like it had just lost a fight, and the patties giving me the impression that they just got off a double shift down at the factory. It made me reminisce about how we came to this. The pale image of what used to be the quintessential burger of America. It made me think war is hell. Because I'm old enough to remember how it started. For those of you younger than I, you would think this is the way it's always been. I write this to dissuade you of that opinion. I remember the war. I was just a teenager. The battle raged for years. The prices dropped and the pickles flew. There were sesame seed buns everywhere. The horror. In an effort to garner more support, the burger bastions whipped them out faster and faster. Billy at the burger stop down the street didn't make it, while John was a master of the spatula, flipping faster than the eye could follow, grilling onions at a pace that could make you cry. Faster, the manager would cry. But I'm giving her all she's got, was the only reply. My God, man, what is in that shake? Well, it ain't ice cream, and not much of a shake. This will take them out a whole new door. A chemical reproduction of what our competitors call a milkshake. 50% more sugar, 50% chemical taste. Let all that natural stuff go to waste. During this time, Jack hadn't made it fully into his box yet. He was just clowning around at it. And the castle, with its gleaming towers, never sallied forth to engage in the madness. They had been at war from the very beginning, and with their shakes unsinkable to the largest of straws, felt no need to up the ante. So it was just the King and the Donald throwing fries over the ramparts. Hardee's was all but done and elected to let Carl's stand in its place. The Colonel and the Churches stood well back from the fray, knowing this was no place for them. They played chicken. Meanwhile, the masses were assaulted and salted. The burgers got bigger. Captain, this burger is structurally unsound. It's going to fall apart. Damn it, then let it fall apart. We need patties. But we're running out. Then put any meat you can find, turkey, bacon, pastrami. Hell, if it'll work, put bologna on it and get it out the door. There's a war on. Ketchup! Ketchup! My kingdom for some ketchup! Beware the Ides of March. They bring mayo, most foul. Give them turkey, call it healthy, but let them eat cake. The Happy Meals no longer brought happiness as they did when I was younger. There was nowhere, no one, and no place safe from the war. The Whopper was on what it seemed like permanent sale at $1. Children across the country were scrambling to find every dime they could to sign up for the war. Susan B. gets a Whopper from me. As it turns out, our lives were only worth the $1 the entry cost. This was found on a lonely hard drive in the back of a closet. The correspondent could not be found, suspected to have succumbed to the conflict. Probably just another nameless face in the crowd, covered in ketchup, mustard, and pickles. The sadness of society has come down to number of patties on a bun. Ask yourself, how long before you're all covered in secret sauce? Not a pretty picture, is it? Happy April Fool's Day. See how long you live through it.
Oh Lord, what am I to do?